So this is my Smackdown review of the show after Clash at Paris. It was in Montreal and it was a good show. People who were saying that Smackdown is ass or Smackdown is bad, like watching this show, it doesn't feel like, of course there was some fan service, but the crowd was great, storylines moved, everything made sense. Like, of course the MFT started the show, and it looks like Hikuleo and JC Mateo are in the tag team division, in the Smackdown tag team division, because they had a match made up against Motor City Machine Guns, which they won. Now, people in the comments must be saying, "Oh, Motor City Machine Guns are buried," but they have been in this position before, where they have been used to elevate people, and they do not become jobbers after that. They have done that with DIY. They have done that with the White Six. The next week or the week after that, they are still like major players in the tag team division. They are not some Pretty Deadly or some stuff. Though what I can see is, then you also had, Solo facing Sammy, who was the hometown hero, and Sammy really got a big pull. Like, this is a while since we have seen Sammy being so over with the crowd, and in the end, it was a pretty good match. I think better than the ones that he has had with Karrion Cross, and in the end, MFT did try to interfere, but Sami Zayn rolled him up and won. So it looks like Sammy is either fully going to SmackDown, or I can see he's going to be on SmackDown for a little while. Maybe face Solo in like a short program for the United States Championship and lose that, and then probably go back to Raw. I don't see him fully making the jump to SmackDown, because all of his storylines, like, it makes much more sense for him to be on Raw. I think this is just a short program to get Solo like a title defense out of it. Then you send Sammy back to Raw. That way, then either they want it at Perth or they want it at War Games. Jacob or Jimmy, anyone can come back and they can reinsert them in the feud and become the champion again. And what you had the Charlotte and Alexa Bliss celebration, which was fine. I don't know, I'm kind of over their team. Like, it was funny, but it's not so endearing now, because it's become so like direct on face and so like overproduced. And before becoming champions, it was more like subtle, or it was more like small things that were happening. Though it is still working with the crowd, the Charlie stuff, her bringing out the doll that actually Alexa made of her back in like 2020 or 21, when they were feuding over the Raw Women's Championship. You had Chelsea Green interrupting her. Then they had a match where Charlotte had a cake made, where it was like, congratulations to Charlotte and Alexa. Alexa was in like small font, and like just in a small little corner. Chelsea got her face smashed in the cake and Charlotte won. So you're getting Charlie chants also. And also that you had a White Six promo which interrupted the WWE and ESPN like deal announcing ad that they were doing. And the White Six promo was essentially that they want to either like, their story has just begun, and that they want to expose the tag team division more or something like that. It was something like that. So uh, so it feels like their story is continuing. Like, DIY and Street Profits were arguing just after that, because they were DIY was putting all the blame on the Street Profits, that that's because of you, Candice, fell. It is because of you the Wyatts retained, and that it's a travesty and everything. Like, when then Beef happened, interjected, no, it's you, your man and your man's best friend are the reason that you fell on that ladder and that you're not tag team champion. And Candice had a big purple bruise on her leg. So Nick Aldis also announced that DIY are going to face Street Profits next week. So it kind of feels like whoever wins that, maybe they get a title shot. You also had Carmelo Hayes and Miz, who were there, and you had Carmelo Hayes wanted a US title shot, but then Miz came out of the general manager room and he was like, "I'm sorry," because Carmelo Hayes was like, "You have left me in the limbo for 2 months." He was like, "I'm sorry. and everything. I know that you deserve a US title shot, but I have gotten us a tag team match next week. But then Carmelo Hayes went away, and it was like Nick Aldis just stepped in, and Miz was like, "I want to talk to you." So either next week, either they are facing MFT. I think they'll probably face MFT, and if they lose, I think Carmelo Hayes is probably turning face, and then you'll probably have like a Carmelo Hayes push to go after Solo Sikoa, like him being a baby face. And from what I have seen on Twitter, like it looks like the reports are also saying that they WWE looks to turn Carmelo Hayes face, or maybe Carmelo Hayes and the Miz maybe face some job attack team or someone and they win, and then you do like a good run as having Melodon Miz as a tag team, which in the end Miz gets frustrated when they're not able to win the tag titles, maybe at WrestleMania, maybe before that. Then you have Carmelo Hayes turn face, maybe that can happen too. Like them introducing the MFT into the tag division is a good thing because Hikuleo will get reps from being around Jeff Cobb, who is like a veteran in the business. Also, it will hide much of whatever like the frailties that he has, and the tag division has a new tag team. But I do think they have to push some tag teams because it kind of feels like the story of some tag teams in the SmackDown tag division is over. Like DIY maybe they can continue for a while, but I think at least Motor City Machine Guns. Motor City Machine Guns, I think they can go to Raw. Maybe you can see, maybe I think Fraxium, Ray Phoenix, and Andrade probably should stay here. But maybe, and also DIY also, maybe get DIY one last shot and then send DIY and Motor City Machine Guns to Raw. I think even the DIY can continue because they have a fun character with the SmackDown tag teams. But I do think Motor City you have to send them, and you have to like decide which tag teams you want to because like there are a lot of tag teams now, and especially like if you're keeping Carmelo Hayes and the Miz as a tag team, then probably you need to send DIY also. So let's see what happens with that. You had also like John Cena being in the ring. Logan Paul confronts him, and it's set. We are getting John Cena versus Logan Paul at Clash at Paris. And then it was also announced that in the main event, it is going to be John Cena and Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I think putting Cody directly with Cena just after winning the title was the right direction to go because if by chance Cody would have been booed because he beat like on retirement tour John Cena, putting him with John Cena helps to not you know to not have that. And I think what they're setting up is probably John is gonna like defeat Logan Paul, and after the match, I can see Brock Lesnar again attacking John Cena, maybe like attacking him, like beating him into a pulp, like writing him off for TV for a while because there are only 11 dates left. So then maybe they do Brock versus Cena at Perth, where all the champions are going to be busy, like their Crown Jewel Championship thing, or they can like wait for a long time and maybe do it in November, because I think you do want John Cena to be involved at Survivor Series and Perth also. And now having John Cena versus Logan Paul at Clash at Paris, you don't really need to have John Cena for the next 2 weeks. Like having him here this week, I think is enough for a John Cena Logan Paul match. I know people were really mad and they were like blaming, like they were like, oh, SmackDown is bad because of this. Yeah, but the thing is that you only have 11 dates. Like John Cena and Triple H both are working together. John, like you have heard what Logan has talked about, like how Cena says that he deserves to be there. It looks like John doesn't really want to face AJ Styles or someone again. Maybe he feels like he has, it's everyone's preference. So it would have been good for her to have John Cena and AJ Styles one last time, but it doesn't look like it's happening. And I hope that Brock Lesnar is at Perth or Survivor Series. I don't want Brock Lesnar to be Cena's last match. Though I can also see one thing. I can see if they want to do, maybe they do John versus Brock at Perth. Maybe have John win by a roll up or something and do AJ versus John at War Games. Have AJ win the IC title. Gunther comes back, Saturday night's main event. Gunther versus Cena title, like a title match, but if, if like it's Cena's last match, Gunther wins the IC title. WrestleMania, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar IC title. It can also happen. And also you had with the women's stuff also, which was, Chelsea and Charlotte happened. That's all. So it probably looks like I can see probably the next, maybe the SmackDown before a Clash at Paris or maybe after. You probably will see, Charlotte had Chelsea's team face in the kick. So you will probably see Charlotte and Alexa defending the titles against Secret Harvest. Maybe the week before, maybe the SmackDown before Clash at Paris or the SmackDown after. And also what you had was, in the women's division you had, uh, uh, Tiffany Stratton getting interviewed backstage, or tanned but hot Tiffany Stratton getting interviewed backstage, and Kathy Kelly asked that you have been on a roll. Tiffany said, yes, I'm going to do what I've been doing for 216 days, is defend that title. She was interrupted by Jade, who was a little bit more like smug even. She was saying that the only reason that you're champion is because you got your foot on the ropes, and next time that's not going to happen. But then I think she was interrupted by Julia and Kiana James, where Kiana James handed her visiting card, and I think that's actually a pretty creative way that you get matches with Julia whenever Kiana James, who is her legal representative, hands you a card, you contact, you get. I think that's a nice concept. But then Michin interrupted, and Jade gave her the uh, the visiting card, which in a way is fine, but in a way it's like, Jade, you don't care about the US title, like. uh, and it looks like because Michin was carrying that kendo stick, I can see probably Julia and Michin, like the SmackDown before Clash at Paris, like in like a no disqualification match. I can see that happening. Though the US title, I'm glad that she's getting challenges now, but the US title, I think after one or two challenges, you need a storyline and you need like a major opponent. And I do hope they get that, because next week maybe we'll probably get another backstage segment, or we'll get like a vignette which will then announce that Julia is defending a title. But I think Julia needs is more people. I thought that the draft was going to happen after SummerSlam, but it kind of looks like they're just letting people go wherever they want to, and like they're like delaying the draft a lot. And in the main event, you had Cena and Cody facing McIntyre and Logan Paul, and the, what happened to the pyro this SmackDown? I don't know. And you had, Cody getting the Cody Rhodes chance, like we want Cena and everything. The match was fine, but in the end, Logan Paul low blowed Cena, which caused a disqualification. And then like the cameras went away from them because Logan was like beating up Cena, and the main focus was on Drew and Cody. Like Cody had set the announce table up, he was going to put Drew McIntyre through that, but then Drew like was like leaning on the barricade, took the undisputed title, hit him on the face with it, and then you had Drew just fixated on the undisputed title. Like, this is my title, I'm coming back. So it's like Drew finally like recalibrated his like focus, and then Drew just went mad and then just Claymore Cody Rhodes through like the lower rung of the announce table, kind of like what Naomi did to Jade, or Jade did to Naomi at Evolution. But this was much more brutal, and you can see like him saying that I am coming after this, this is mine and everything. So you're probably gonna get Cody versus Drew McIntyre at Clash of Paris. Though it is a good thing, but I would have liked Drew to get more wins before that. I do think, like, I get it. They could have had Drew McIntyre pin Jelly Roll, or and they could have had Drew win against Randy Orton at Saturday Night's main event. This is still good. Like, this is still like this segment really sold me on the Drew Cody. Like, this is like and everything. But what I want to happen at Clash at Paris is Randy Orton to return and kind of like inadvertently help Cody defeat Drew, so that Drew has like a natural gripe that I could have beaten you, Cody, but it's because of Randy that you won. And Cody being like, I didn't want your help, Randy. What's probably gonna happen is Cody is gonna beat Drew clean, maybe by a roll up or something. You're gonna have Drew attack Cody after the match. Randy returns, RKO. You set up Cody, Randy, Drew as a triple threat, and maybe Cody and Randy as a feud for the future. So I am excited. I'm glad that Drew is rightfully back in the World Championship picture. It's been a while since he's been in the World Championship picture. The last time he was in the World Championship picture was him facing a Damian Priest at Clash at the Castle. After that, he was in a feud with CM Punk, but then he never like reached to that level again. So he's where he rightfully belongs. I think this show can be given a 3 out of 5 or a 3.5 out of 5 because the crowd was also great. So what did you think about the show? Tell me in the comments. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts, which are my Twitter/X account and my Instagram account, links in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID, which is shabboyz@okicic, is also in the description, so go donate any amount of money which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for today. So thank you, goodbye, alvida.